So I decided to start Clearview because one, I wanted to be in control of my own destiny, right? And two, I thought there was a bigger opportunity. At the time, I was talking to John Hewitt, who had founded Jackson Hewitt, Liberty Tax. I was a Liberty Tax franchisee in the tax business. And, John said, "Hey, Brian, you've done a great job adding insurance to your tax practice. Why don't you come teach our franchisees to do the same?" So I was like, "Oh, that's a great idea. Maybe I'll franchise Clearview and go and work with these tax franchisees and show them how to add insurance to their current books of business." And that's really where the idea started. So we started up Clearview with the intention of being a franchise and distribute that way. We looked at the other franchises in the space and other market access companies, and listen, everyone's a different flavor of ice cream.
Yeah.
And, we just felt like, okay, we wanted to do something that we would buy.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where the idea behind starting Clearview really came from.
Yeah.
It really depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
For us, I've built a scratch captive book. Now we've built a scratch independent book. We've built a really good foundation, and now we have these franchisees under us that are looking to do the same, right? So I think the things that differentiates us is we have the experience and we're willing to share that experience.
Right.
So that attracts the right type of person because we've solved a lot of problems. We've spent a lot of money to solve these problems. We've made these mistakes, and now you don't have to make those mistakes. So if you're looking for a business in a box, especially within insurance, and you want to build and scale something, then we're happy to work with you.
Yeah.
If you're like, hey, maybe I don't want to build a business, I might want to do one or two policies here and there, we're not the right people to work with.
Yeah.
Right. We're wanting to work with folks that are, going to put their money where their mouth is. They're going to come to me and say, "Hey, I want a $10 million book. Help me get there." And we have the roadmap to help you get there.
Yeah.
And those are the kind of people we're looking for.
Yeah.
So, for us, we started the organic growth in mid-21 when we started.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I never even thought about an acquisition because we were just writing so much new business. What's the point? What's the need?
Yeah.
So we grew a ton that first year just organically. And in 2022, it all came to a halt, right? Every carrier basically said, "Well, we don't really want to pray in business. We want to take a step back. We want to pause." The issue was we had 1 year in. It's not like we had a book that we've been building for 20 years.
Yeah.
And I got 4 kids to feed. So I got to find a way to keep growing.
Yeah.
So that's where the idea of acquisitions, came about. I think I called you and I said, "Hey, we're going to start looking to acquire some books in other states, right? Outside of New York. New York was locked down.
Yeah.
If any of you write business in New York, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So we wanted to look at states that were still open for business that we can grow in. And that's where we started looking for acquisitions. And, we ended up buying a book in Georgia and Texas, Illinois, and some of these other states where we can continue to write new business and grow. So that's where acquisitions for us came out of a necessity.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think we're at the point where we've kind of settled in with these acquisitions. Things are going well with them. They're growing. But now we want to go back to focus more on that organic growth. Right. We've built a really good foundation. We've got the right people in the right places. And we have all of these agents that are coming to us looking to acquire a franchise, to work with us, to grow and scale that way. And that's going to be a lot of our focus over the next several years, is to how do we take these captive agents that are saying, "Hey, I don't know what I'm getting paid. I can't figure it out. I want to work with, I want access. I want to make more money, a family feed. So that's going to be a lot of my time and energy, is working with these agents that are coming on board with us and helping them grow and scale their business to something that they really love and they enjoy, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to be doing. And outside of that, I think we're another differentiator for us. We're probably one of the only franchises out there that encourages our franchisees to acquire.
Yeah.
Right. So from the time they come in with us, we have a game plan. Okay, what are we going to write? How are we going to grow? Where's our revenue going to be, right?
Yeah.
We teach them how to manage their P&L properly, how to keep equity in their business. Ultimately, that's for them to be set up to be able to acquire a book. Now, if we don't want to own everything.
Right.
Makes no sense. I can't manage a book, right, in, I don't know, New Mexico when I live in New York. I'm not going to do a great job doing that.
Right.
But can I find a local franchisee with the talent and the skills to do it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when we bring our folks in, we make sure that they come in with the intention to also grow by acquisition. So let's see what you can write. Let's build a scratch book. Awesome. You've done a great job. We know you can manage an acquisition.
Yeah.
We've got Oak Street in place. We've got our brokers that work with us. We have deals coming to us all the time. And it's just a matter of pairing up the right franchisee with the right deal.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to be focusing on. How to be successful early in your career. Be intentional about everything that you do.
Sure.
Right. And what I find with most insurance agencies, they start off as a single producer, and that producer never leaves the producer role, right? Hey, I own the book, I own the business, but yet you still do every single thing in the business. My advice would be figure out how to run a business, not just being a producer, right? Most books that we've looked at are just that single producer with maybe a handful of staff, but they live and breathe in the business and they can't even take a vacation. That's not a business. That's still just a job. So I think you ought to think about, how do I set this up as an actual business? It means you might make less money to start, which should be okay, but you're building an actual business, and the business should really be able to run without you.
Yeah.
Right? You always hear it. People say this all the time. Work on your business, not in your business.
Yeah.
Well, what does that mean? Right? It means that you ought to start doing these things from the time you start, because when you're deep in the weeds, it's really hard to get out.